My bad. But yeah, he basically created angels to do his work. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans out there, so you got to think about like androids and stuff like that. So aliens are kind of like androids. If you see the movie, and I'm gonna keep on references to movies because there's a lot of hidden gems in these movies, man. So almost like Jupiter Ascends, and that dude, that white actor that played that whatever it was, whatever he was supposed to be, that was helping Jupiter. And he said he was basically telling you what he was. He was a splice or something like that. There was a representation of an angel. You know, angels are not of God's blood. They just part of his creations. They're just another being that he created. But all the beings that God created from his own DNA, those are his children. And that's humans and whatever else may exist on the planet. But angels are servants of God. You know what I'm saying? They something that God created to do his work. You know what I mean? So like they went to go collect Moses' body, or they appeared in that cave and fixed up Jesus' human body. You know, that's what angels are for. You know what I'm saying? So to get even deeper, and I wasn't going to even go this deep on this first video on this topic because, you know, I wanted to test it out first because a lot of people's brains ain't ready for this. But at the end of the day, it may be that time. You know what I'm saying? It may be that time. Like I said, you got people like Kanye talking about, you know, he finally came out of MK Ultra and started recognizing that he had handlers around him. That's on all levels, man. Because the reason they do that is because it's people that's very aware of this matrix and what's going on. And for the lack of the word, they say they geniuses or whatever. But them are the ones that walk this planet that has that very heightened, sensitive intelligence and awareness of the matrix and how things are operated, or how things are being done and manipulated, and how they try to isolate people or target people or put handlers around them. You know what I'm saying? That's to keep you in a box so you won't wake up a lot of people, because a lot of these people, I mean, there's so much under the sun you can talk about, but a lot of these people their first existence may be as human beings. You got to understand it. That's why they still act in a primitive type of manner. And then a lot of them could be, you know, agents so the masses won't wake up. So they play dumb. You know what I'm saying? That you always got that one in your group, in your community, whatever, that he's just as aware as the one that's saying all the truth, but he's just on the opposite side of things, and he plays dumb to dumb and everybody else around him to stay dumb. You know what I'm saying? He's the adversary of the truth. He's the lie, or she's the lie. You know what I'm saying? So for Kanye to be speaking on stuff like that, it makes me a little bit more comfortable to expose certain things that I've been aware of my whole life. So when you think about, I was getting back to the reason you can't confuse Jesus as an angel. He's not an angel. He's a descendant of God. Meaning he's the child of God. He's a creation. He's the child of God. He has God DNA, physical DNA. Just like the rest of us, you know what I'm saying? If you claim to be God's child, then you got his physical DNA. Not just his spiritual, his physical DNA. Because God is physical. You understand what I'm saying? He's spiritual, but he's physical. The reason he's spiritual is because he's God. He probably can create however many bodies he wants for himself to inhabit in and out, there and for. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people get misconcepted about that. Just like, and I don't know if it's going on down on this earth, but I'm pretty sure if they can clone your body and now you got two vessels you can go back and forward through. You know, that's an artificial way, you know what I'm saying, to create immortality here. But God has already created that because the body can always be repaired. That's what God was trying to show y'all through Jesus. It can always be repaired. So death doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? It don't exist. But a temporary death does exist because we ain't on that level yet as human beings to be able to, whether we ain't earned it or this is the test stage and we some of the youngest species in this whole existence, galaxy, universes, under God umbrella. So maybe he ain't trusting us with that immortality yet, because the way niggas is moving out here. You understand what I'm saying? And then, once he created the human body, you got all type of shit that's inhabiting the human body. You know what I'm saying? Just as God is this descending divine beings, you got to understand the devil is ascending his children too into vessels that's walking the earth. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that too. Yeah, we all, to exist on this earth, we all got to be in a human form. But you don't know what consciousness is in that human form. You got the good ones that's with God, that's inhabiting that human form, and then you got the bad ones that's inhabiting that form. But we all physical, so we can't see inside and understand what's really inhabiting. And I ain't even seen the movie Get Out, but I heard about it. Think of that philosophy. And if you think of that philosophy, then the whole concept that I heard about Get Out is they was inhabiting these black people's bodies, taking over them, taking over the consciousness and becoming the consciousness. Even in the Matrix, they was doing that shit. So you got to understand, motherfuckers are born already knowing that they a demon. And they got a mission. You know what I'm saying? And it's and the same thing with the divine beings that's coming from God, that's inhabiting this earthly realm. You understand what I'm saying? This yin and yang for real. So to understand that concept of what's going on with God and the way he created creation, then that allows people to wake up and understand that what I wanted to touch, because I'm like I said, I'm freestyling this because I could talk days and days about what's really going on. But one of the things I never really wanted to touch on is because, being the only person that's saying it at the time, people wasn't ready for it because they just call you crazy. But now, like I said, now the people with big names like Kanye are talking about things. I can get in the second half of the puzzle, what's going on. Because Kanye is mentioning a lot of stuff and he's figuring out a lot of stuff, but he don't know the whole scope of what's going on. So, he needs somebody to let him know the whole scope. You know what I'm saying? He got the platform, he got the voice. He needs somebody to know the whole scope. And I don't know if people already know this, than people in them high places. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people know. But what I'm going to say is, now I'm not jumping subjects, but I want y'all to follow everything. What I'm trying to give to y'all, these jewels I'm trying to give to y'all about this planet and existence, period. And it shouldn't be scary. It should almost be calming, because God is really in control. And God about that action. God being about that action. So you got one or two choices. You can be stubborn and try to think you're going to stop what God got going on. Or you can submit, repent, and go to the righteous side. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That's real. That's as real as it's going to get. You know what I'm saying? Hey. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is, when Hitler was going on, when Hitler was popping off in this world, basically what he was doing was he was introducing us to some more advanced beings that was created by God, but for a certain purpose. Now, when the Bible say that a third of the angels fell, we already covered that them angels were created to be God's workers, like androids, you know what I'm saying, like robots. But if a third of them failed, that means a third of them found out that their purpose was to serve and nothing more. And God's children is the ones that were supposed to inherit all the future of the labor. Doesn't mean God didn't love his angels in his creation, but some of them didn't like that idea that that's what their purpose was. You understand what I'm saying? So it was a war in heaven. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? But you're a dumb sucker if you think you're going to beat the person that created you. They know exactly what works and what don't work. They got the off switch. So, you know, we don't even know how that was even, you know, I can't even comprehend how you going to try to turn against something that created you that can take over your whole being. But anyways, you know, free will, that's what God gives because he's a merciful God. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Hitler was basically introducing us to these blue-eyed, blonde-haired new species that hit this planet. Now, this shit right here that I'm about to give y'all is what the powers that be might not like. They don't like that shit. Because Hitler wasn't even, follow me, Hitler wasn't even blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And this shit is out here on YouTube. Research the shit. I ain't the first one saying this shit, but I was one that before I even seen somebody else talking about that shit, I peeped game. There's two type of white species on this planet. It's the ones that's naturally made on this planet, and it's the ones that come from outer space, and they like God's angels. Them is what I think they talking about, angels, when you talk about it. Because them blonde-haired blue ones, watch them in your society, watch them in your community. For one, they always the ones that's in high power. They always seem smarter and more aware of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Even our president is one of them. Biden, blue eyes, blonde hair. Not just regular blue eyes, because, okay, of course they mixing. Every species is mixing with each other on this planet. So some of their eyes will get distorted, lighter blue, green, brown hair. But the majority of them, the pure ones, blonde hair, blue eyes. They like the angels. Now, this is my theory. When shit start getting hectic down here amongst the melanated God's children, when shit start getting hectic, God basically sent, because there's some good ones and some bad ones. He sent them to reestablish authority, the law. He sent them to handle us. And my theory is, all this is theory now, but I'm telling you, to me, it's factual because, you know, I done the research and I already know what's popping. You know what I'm saying? I already know what's popping. And basically, what I think happened is when they got here, they were only supposed to, you know, reestablish God's law because we was doing fucked up shit to each other. You know, so we've been doing, you know, we've been fucking up each other since the dawn of time. You know what I'm saying? Before they enslaved us and they hit this planet. You know what I'm saying? And the fact of what it was is that, you know, and I believe this is a quote Hitler said, that I might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's so much shit that you can learn throughout a lifetime that sometimes you just gotta let your spirit grab and hold on to the shit that you're supposed to hold on to. And he said something about they tried to steal God's jewel. That's why they attacked the Jews. You know what I'm saying? And Jews are blonde, they brown haired. Curly brown hair, you know what I'm saying? They probably the ones that started slavery when it comes to the African gene pool. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's just theories. So follow what I'm saying. But to me, it's like factual and the evidence is there, but people ain't reading through the lines. So these humans, I'm gonna call them humans because they on Earth, but they don't come from Earth. The blonde hair blue ones, they don't come from Earth. They like God's army in a sense. He's like created them. I'm not saying that God don't have no army that's melanated and his children up there with him that's, you know what I'm saying, locked and loaded and higher ranks. But when you talk about his you know what I'm saying, I'm sending them out, the infantry. He's sending these out now, and I think that when they hit Earth, I think majority of them are some of them got overturned by the fallen angels that was already here, and what they did, they ended up setting up a paradise for themselves, and that ain't what they were supposed to do. God was just sending them to reestablish, like, you know, it's more than enough to go around on this planet and basically, you know, be custodians or guardians over our world, because we was misusing it, or we wasn't distributing it fairly. But they came and set up a paradise for themselves and did the same thing. Not saying they can't exist with us, but they were sent here to serve us and do a service for us. And through that, yeah, they might have to get a little brutal because they're God's army, infantry, you know what I'm saying, get with the program or not, but these are commands that's probably coming from God. Now they might have took it too far, so that's when God peeped game and was like, you know, I need to go see what's going on down there, you know what I'm saying, because I'm getting too many cries and prayers coming up here with people's anguish, you know what I'm saying. So that's when God starts sending prophets, them divine beings, his kids, through creating human vessels and letting them come through a woman and just uploading their consciousness from wherever they at out of space into that human vessel. You know what I'm saying? Because when Jesus came, that was the time of Rome. And we know most of them Rome people was blue eyes, blonde hair. Caesar was blue eyes, blonde hair. And what did he do? He killed Jesus because Jesus came back to let him know. He was letting everybody know, like, nah, my father sent y'all here to reestablish this land to his kids so they can grow and understand the glory of God. But it wasn't supposed to be y'all hogging all the resources and keeping people poor and stuff like that. It wasn't supposed to be that. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't like that, because now Jesus is exposing the truth. And because they so physically seeing, because they're so physically seeing, they think God didn't reveal everything to them. So they seen God physically. So they thinking they got a chance to overthrow God. Like, oh, he have to come here physically to do anything, not knowing God wasn't gonna let them know all his secrets. I created y'all, but I'm not about to give y'all the blueprint of existence. Y'all don't know what I can do. You know what I'm saying? So he was sending people, he giving everybody a chance. So he sent Jesus here, and that was the time of Rome. Now, whether you believe in Jesus or not, whether you think this is just stories, anything, peep the game that they giving you though through the Bible. I ain't gonna say I was claiming no religion. I was born Christian, but I ain't gonna say I claim no religion, but I believe in what I know is real. I know God is real, my creator, my father. And I know my great ancestor, the one that is the savior of this generation, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I give homage to my ancestors, because they still had to go through some trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, let's just say I know God is real. So when he sent Jesus here, that was the time of Rome. So the time of Rome, they wasn't having that. You got to understand, these blonde hair blue ones, sometimes I used to call them blonde hair blue devils. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go that far, because some of them did go all the way down the evil path. Some of them when you amongst them in society, you see they still got a little stern, aggression towards you. But some of them, not all of them are like that, but a lot of them are like that. And it's a reason, God created them for that purpose, to be servants, to establish law, and have a sternness about themselves. But some of them don't like it because they understand we're direct descendants of God. And they're just creations of God. You know what I'm saying? In a sense now, and I don't want nobody to get offended, because I'm telling y'all got to pay attention. But what I'm going to tell you is that right after God got killed, right after Jesus got killed, Rome fell not too long after that. You understand what I'm saying? Rome was out of there. So once we understand that, then we understand, you know what I'm saying? When you think of, you know, people say, you know, we so stuck on slavery, and that's you know, that's right there is a touchy subject, because, you know, just to be here today, you know what I mean, is a blessing, because it's like people don't really just sit and think like slavery, like they was hanging people, killing people. Like, you got to understand what that means to be a Black American. That means somebody in your family and your lineage survived long enough for your bloodline to keep going. They'll let you know God is real. So just the Black American, you know what I mean, is a very precious commodity to this planet. And America is a superpower. And Black Americans played a big contribution to that. Now, when you think about that, you got to understand the fact that the reason I know this blue-eyed blonde hair is I'm on to something like that. I don't even want to go into all the experience that I've already experienced on my own out here with them. But what I'm going to express to y'all and let y'all know is that look at America and look how developed it is. Compared to these third world countries, because it seems like these aliens, angels, whatever you want to call them, the blonde hair, blue eyed ones that came from the heavens, and we don't know when they hit this planet to reestablish God law, not to make this their own kingdom, but to reestablish God law, live amongst us, kind of as our guardians, lead us down the righteous path, and then release this planet. Once we disciplined enough, release the planets and all its resources back to the natural inhabitants of this planet. That is what was supposed to go on. That didn't go on. They felt like this was a paradise. You know what I'm saying? And decided to kind of give us a little bit here and there to try to keep God off their back. But you know, God is patient. He's slow to be angered. You know what I'm saying? So that's why God ain't immediately came and wiped nothing out yet. But at the end of the day, we at the times where, you know, every generation has to see the beginning to the end of what the revelation, the great revelations is going to come. I'm not just saying in the Bible. I'm talking about period. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that scenario, and they not wanting to release and give us, they still doing it their way, thinking they fighting off God. They thinking they done killed all God's prophets and all this and all that, and they ain't coming back. But even if they is coming back, they understand it in the concept of the physical. So they preparing for war when God come back in a physical sense. Not understanding that you don't know how God moves. You know, if he wanted to just shut it down right now, he could just shut it down right now. But the only reason ain't that he got any doubt that he gonna win. It's the fact that he trying to give everybody a chance to be like, hey man, I created y'all. That ain't what y'all supposed to do. You know, y'all got another, y'all can get it right. Do it right, do it like, you know what I'm saying? Because he know ain't no such thing as death. So yeah, y'all done tortured some of my kids, killed them, burned them, did everything under the sun to them. But I can repair their body and they consciousness again, inhabit that body and like it never happened. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's getting to a point where it's like, you know, God is hearing all this anguish from this earth. And it's like God is tired of it. I'm going to give y'all another example. The only other developed countries almost like America. I mean, you got Africa, but I'm talking when you think about America, the architecture, the futuristic type of presence or energy that's here. You know what I'm saying? And just the freedom, for the lack of a better word, the paradise that's here for people that, you know, able to obtain it. Russia, and that's other blonde hair, blue eyed people. Of course, Asia, you know, the Chinese culture, the Asian culture, they got their own thing popping. But that's a whole nother scenario too. I'm not even gonna talk on what I think's going over there in China and stuff and what they are. But you got to think about those three continents and countries of how they developed over there. And like I said, I'm just showing you that's blonde hair, blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? And part of the reason the Jews own everything, like Kanye was saying, because he was really trying to help y'all understand. Like when he said, you know, slavery's a choice, when he starts speaking on the Jews, we are Jews. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he was trying to tell you. Like, you a Jew too. You know what I'm saying? If you're a melanated person, you're a Jew too. But I'm talking about the group of Jews that then linked together, created some type of secret society and brotherhood bond to control everything in America, and they got their hands in everything, and they got all the wealth. What I feel Kanye was trying to let y'all know is that they just demanded it. They know that they the ones in control. And once black people understand that we are in control and God sent his workers, the blonde hair blue ones, the ones that Hitler was pushing on the mainstream, that they supposed to be working for us. Now don't take that out of context. What I'm saying is everybody got a right to live a good life. I'm not saying nothing about, you know, nobody's no slave. But what I'm saying is, because they know this, they supposed to be working for us. The Bible give you examples of that. So if they the angels that the Bible is talking about, because God distinctly tell you that angels are not the same as humans are me. They something different, he said. It's scriptures and scenes in the Bible where God tell you gotta demand them angels to do what you want to do. I don't remember who it was, but it was a person in the Bible. They said he wrestled with the angel until the angel blessed him. You got to use all authority of God to let them know, hey, no, this ain't popping like that. But everybody's going around about it the wrong way. And then the black community got to kick out the snakes. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's out here killing each other and all that. And I don't want to say too much, but you know who you are. Y'all the ones got to go, because y'all the ones is the reason that these blonde hair blue ones is using the excuse why they ain't gave us our equal opportunities and our equal portion of this planet, because they still like, oh, y'all ain't learned y'all lesson. And some of y'all ignorant, so y'all don't understand what's really going on. But y'all the ones that either got to change or get the fuck up out of here, man. Because y'all the ones fucking it up and slowing down what really supposed to be transpiring. You know, everybody's supposed to be living in paradise on this planet. But it starts with the melanated people and getting rid of the ones that's demons in disguise that's walking amongst us in our skin. Them are the ones that got to get up out of here. They either got to change or get up out of here. Because them is the ones that's creating. Y'all listen to Charleston White. I ain't saying I agree with everything he say, because I don't know everything he say. But certain stuff he telling y'all, just like Kanye West. Like, nah, bro. Some of y'all are agents in the community, the culture that's steering the masses the wrong way. And that's part of the reason God sent them to this planet anyways, because we was killing each other. Y'all know the story of Cain and Abel. That sums it up right there. That's the type of shit God was tired of. So he had to send somebody to get that shit straight, to get it right. But then they turned on God and they didn't do it all the way right. But at the same time, right now, the only reason that shit they still able to get with it because you still got motherfucker menace to society out here, motherfuckers that ain't peeping game, either because they know game, but they just chose the evil side, and they ain't willing. They whole point is they carrying out they father agenda, and they melanated. Then you got the ones that just ain't thinking on a higher frequency to understand that that's what's going on. So they still on this lower level of thinking, and they allowing the other ones around them in the culture to lead them down the wrong path, instead of realizing like, nigga, this ain't the way. This ain't the way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Powers is in numbers. The Mexicans work together. Every other race work together, except black people, specifically black Americans, because Africa, they work together. The Africans over there, they work together. As much as they under attack, they still work together. They still love each other. Now, I'm pretty sure every race is killing its own race in some type of circumstance, but I'm speaking for the people that we constantly saying we want change, we want this, we want that. Wake up and smell the coffee and see that we gotta hold, even though it's a lot of them menace to society, motherfuckers that's poisoning the culture, we outnumber them. So it's time to hold them accountable. Like, hey, bro, you know, it's time to really, as a whole, as one, it's time to separate ourselves from the ones that's doing the bullshit in the culture. It's time to separate ourselves from them. Because if we don't separate ourselves from them, then we all guilty by affiliation. And that's what people ain't understand. It's time to separate from them. They either gonna get it right or separate from them. It's time to wake up and really wake up and understand what's going on. You see how technology goes better every year, and then it takes a major step every 10. Here in the 21st century or the 22nd century, whatever they want to call the 2000s, it's been moving at a rapid pace. At first they slowed us down and was showing us a little bit, but then you got shit like stem cell research, all this extra shit, bro. Life is supposed to be euphoric. All that bullshit that they telling you about, oh, you know, life is not for, no, bro. At this point, everybody should already learn what they supposed to learn, and you just gonna get on the righteous train, or you gonna take your ass to that graveyard. That's clear as day. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to hold all these wicked motherfuckers that's in the culture. It's time to hold them accountable, bro. And none of that. And then it's so simple that nothing has to get physical. You know, it's a time for war, physical war. Then it's a time for mental war and intellectual war. And you got to understand, it's as easy as not affiliating yourself with them. Are you part of the problem? It's time to hold your people in your community accountable. If it's 20 motherfuckers that's causing havoc in your community, and your community make up, 50,000 people? And y'all can't take the time like, hey, bro, we need y'all to get up out of here. Go find something else to do. Go find somewhere else. So the light can be shined on y'all instead of it being shined on the whole community. Because some of them ain't gonna never change, because that's their whole purpose in life, is that they are demon in the flesh. Like literally. Just like I just told you, Jesus was a God in the flesh, a divine being in the human flesh. The same principle with the demons. Understand what I'm saying. And I'll touch on that topic a little bit more, because you got to understand the demons in the human flesh, literally, their consciousness was uploaded. The devil created a vessel for them, a human vessel. They grew up just like a kid, just like Jesus grew up like a kid. And they talk to the devil in their head. Just like the way God used to talk to Jesus in his head, it's the same principle. It's yin and yang, night and day. The devil is a mimicker of God. You got to understand that. So it's the same principles that's going on. So this advantage that they have over us. I think this is a theory that the demons that's in the human flesh, they already know what their purpose is. You know, Jesus, he knew at a young age, but he eventually had to grow to the awareness of what he was doing, just like the rest of the prophets. But, you know, God makes it's his way or the highway. So, it's, you know, he know what he doing. But you got to understand that concept. Just like I'm giving y'all a lot, man. Because, you know, I get anxious and I get shit out once I get to spilling this shit. You know, I'll be like, I ain't going to say everything, but I get to spilling that shit and I just get to spilling it. Another thing y'all got to understand is that nature teaches us a lot. That's for another topic. But God put nature and animals here for a reason. Because we animals too. We just the alpha animals on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because we got thumbs. And we got well, we don't know if animals know how to, if they die, we just can't understand them. But you know, we got thumbs and for as our knowledge that we're more consciously aware, and they say Homo sapiens, that's the best way I can explain it. But we don't know what goes on in the animal kingdom for its dialogue and communication. But for as we understand is that, you know, we're the top species on this planet as human beings. You know what I mean? When you talk about the food chain, the pyramid of power, the human beings is on top. We understand that. You know, that's just a natural given understanding when you hit this planet. You know what I'm saying? Even if we ain't physically stronger than every other species on this planet, animal, we have both. We can physically be strong. We can build machines. We can do all that. We have access to all of that, which makes us the dominant species. You understand what I'm saying? So when you think of that, what was I talking about before that? When you think of that concept there, reason I brought up nature is because think of a beehive. It could be a bee that's 20 miles away from the hive, and all of them can talk. They can all communicate as a hive mind. Follow me. So that's the same principle as these demons that's hiding in the flesh. They communicate as a hive mind. The good ones ain't learned how to, the God's children, we ain't learned how to communicate on hive mentality yet. I don't want to use the word hive mind because they use that hive bullshit. So that's how they everywhere at once, because they already know their purpose, and it's to collect condemned souls, so they all communicate in a hive mind. They're all connected in a hive, like a beehive. Let that seed grow that I just planted. They all connected. Ducks fly the motherfucking together. That's how them demons communicate. The ones that's walking around in human flesh, they hive-minded. And the ones that don't know no better, that's young spirits, but got a good soul, are the ones that know what's going on. We ain't reached the level where we can communicate with each other hive mind like they can, that I'm aware of. And the ones that's young souls and young spirits, this is their first existing on this planet as a human being, that's the first existing ever for them, they can get confused because they think this person around and they be knowing they all their life mean them well, but at the end of the day, they're a demon. Like, I'm not using that loosely. They're literally a demon in a physical body. Their consciousness is uploaded. That's what they was created to do. God say something, and don't quote me on this, he say something about it in the scriptures. He say, you want to know, you know what I'm saying, know about something, look at the fruit. Look at the fruit. So that's how you know, demons gonna create demons. You know what I'm saying? A lion he only creates lions. You don't get no zebras from no lion. So if the mother was a demon, the daddy was a demon, the child is a demon. Now, I don't even want to say that. I didn't even want to say that because kids are kids. Children are children. You leaving them all alone. We all got, every child has an opportunity to decide what path they want to go down. But you have to choose God. Even if you was born a demon, you got to choose God if you're going to be on the right cause. So you got to understand that. You really got to understand that. Scratch what I said about the kids, about them being demons, but I'm just trying to give y'all the understanding that that's what it is out here. Don't get trapped in this physical shit. You know what I'm saying? Physical is half of it, but you got to understand everything exists here, internally. I just gave y'all, before I got on this rant, I let y'all know Jesus was a divine being, that his consciousness inhabit a physical body that was a human body. He had two bodies. He had the original ancient body that he's been having since the beginning of creation. And God is a scientist, a creator. That's why you can break everything down to the smallest molecule. How can DNA split and divide and break up? They give you a physical understanding that that's what happens. That's created. So you got to understand that it's demons that was inhabited. They were never human. They just have a human avatar so they can walk amongst this planet. And there's so much other shit that walks on this planet that we know about. But everything on this planet has to disguise itself as human. Because we live in modern times and people ain't ready for that shit. So if you got witches, sorcerers, the demons. You got all type of shit. You might have motherfuckers that's real life mutants. You know what I'm saying? You might have shit like motherfucking that can shapeshift. But everything is gonna appear to you as a human being. Because in the physical sense, they are human beings, but that's why they use the word spirit. And I don't want to use that like people do it like cliche wise. I'm telling y'all that think of it like the Avatar movie. You uploading a consciousness into a physical human vessel. Not saying that everybody's like that. I'm saying that the ones that's causing the confusion amongst the planet, most likely, you know what I'm saying, they demons inhabiting a human body. Or they was the blue-eyed blind ones that came here to wreak havoc. They're supposed to really reintroduce us to God and show us how we can use our godly power to create a paradise on this planet and how to portion out our resources and all these things of that nature. So everybody can live, no matter how many people on the planet, we're able to live and flourish all together. But instead, they turned us against each other, caused all this confusion. God been trying to reestablish that. We could say back as far as Jesus, but probably back farther than that. But people don't understand the concept. Black people are waking up, so everybody running from the ideal of Jesus because they try to paint him like he's this image. But you got to remember, Jesus was going up against Rome. And there was a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. So think about that for a second. And then take the ideal that Jesus was a different being. He showed him on that mountain that I'm something different. I'm not a human. I'm something different. My true form is something different. I'm just downloaded into this body that God created in Mary's womb for me. I'm downloaded. My consciousness is downloaded. I can go back and forth from each body. There's something else that dawned on me years ago. I heard somebody saying, like, they used to sing that song, "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, come to carry me home." That lets you know that God come in spaceships. They said it's gonna be like however they describe when he coming through them clouds. That's real. God is in the physical just as much as he in the spiritual. And once we understand that concept, then we getting further and further to the truth of what's really taking place around here. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, I'm gonna save all that for another one. But what I'm trying to tell y'all, just pay attention, bro. Just pay attention out here. Just pay attention. And once we as a whole hold the rulers of this world, the custodians, you know what I'm saying? The what's the other word for it? The custodians, but also another word you can call them is it's slipping my mind right now because you know these energies don't want me to spill all this, but anyways, it'll come to me. Y'all get the picture. The custodians of the planet, people that has custody over us, they're the ones that all we have to do is step to them. Not step to them on no violent shit. Step to them in the sense like, hey man, we know who we are. We know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? And I think once we do it in that manner and weave out all these snakes that's in the culture, these demons that's in disguise and melanated flesh that's causing havoc to the community, we get rid of them, then God will back us more. You know what I'm saying? He'll back us more. Cause all that bullshit that we teaching, all you gotta be, that let you know y'all ain't living in no God, y'all ain't living in no spiritual. Even though God is both, he physical and spiritual, y'all just living in the physical, the way the culture is moving right now, that shit is pathetic. I'm not saying all of it, but the people that's in the power right now, they moving in a pathetic manner. So once we stop moving in that pathetic manner and tell them motherfuckers that ain't doing nobody no good, they so ignorant and still moving like fucking apes on the planet because they can't think farther than that. All this shit that I'm saying to them, some of them motherfuckers, y'all know who they are. We see them every day. You try to spit some shit like that to these ignorant motherfuckers, they one or two responses. They too ignorant to even grasp it and they think you crazy, or they a demon in disguise and that's the shit they don't want you telling. That's why some motherfuckers never grow out of that lifestyle, because that's their whole purpose in life. They're a demon. They trying to collect as many souls they can. So when you come around talking about shit like this, they like, nigga, you waking up ours. You waking up some of our motherfucking people that we already got they soul. Leave them alone. You'll become their foe because of that shit. But we still outnumber them. So like I said, the shit ain't never got to get physical. It's just simple as separating yourself or us as a whole holding these motherfuckers accountable. That's in our culture that's giving us a bad rep. Fuck all that extra word shit that y'all talking about, man. It's some word shit y'all niggas been talking about since the beginning of time. All that word shit that y'all be on, like, oh, that ain't real, that ain't no real nigga, all that word shit, bro. If you ain't banging God first, bro, you weird. If you on this planet talking about you won't change, but you ain't banging God first, you're weird, bro. I don't care what your concept of God is. If you ain't banging God first, like, either, I don't care, bro, you still got 10 motherfucking toes, 10 motherfucking fingers, and if you take all them clothes off, nigga, you naked in the motherfucking jungle, just like the rest of these motherfucking animals, bro. So what the fuck are y'all talking about? So what that means is that you got genes, genetic, blood, all that other shit in you that backs up all the shit that I'm talking about. Nigga, we're here to evolve. To evolve. I don't care if you the realest nigga you think you are on this planet. You are still a human being that has the same principles and setup as any other human being. You were born through a woman. This body will grow. It will reach a peak, then it will descend and start decaying. So how y'all trying to keep shit on the basis of just simple shit like y'all can't? That's how you know them is the demons, the ones that act like shit that I'm talking about ain't possible and it's just crazy shit. And the only thing is them is the demons. Them is the ones you gotta shake. Cause they ain't trying to let you reach no higher train of thought, no higher frequency. Them the demons. They already know this shit exists. It says it in the Bible. Even the demons fear God. Nigga, they not denying that he exists. They just don't want you to believe in him. Cause they know God, he about that action. He knocks shit off. But God ain't gonna do it if you ain't repping him, if you ain't banging God. Like I said, you lame. You lame, bro. You are part of the problem on the planet. I'm talking about in the culture too. Man, that's all I got for y'all today, man.